Rock bottom is a place that people don't understand until you see it. So sitting inside of a jail cell, understanding that there's purpose for you, but there's also a place that you put yourself, and that you have to deal with where you have put yourself. This is why I always say individual accountability is my number one, that's my number one asset, is because I understand that I put myself there. But when I hit rock bottom, my faith was the first thing that stuck out, because all of those seeds that had been planted in me before I went into that space helped me realize that there was something more impactful and something more purposeful for me if I understand the unique ability to be humble and to recognize that everything that I was going through was designed for me to be a reentry advocate, a recovery advocate, a person that could use all of the worst that had happened to love other people back to life. I call it, that's a personal way you do a CPR to people, loving people back to life. And people don't normally ask me that question. People like to hear the good side. It's easy to say all the good things from a place where you're doing well. But when you hit a bottom space, when all you have is you to focus on where you need to go, and then all of the tools that have been given to you, this is where my faith journey came in. And this is where those people that had reached out to me before I went into that space, they were important, because that's who wrote me, that's who called me. My professors reached out to me. The congregational folks walked with me through every single piece of that. So then I got out, and my journey was actually a road that I could see. There were so many other people that were around me that did not have that. So their journey when they got out was very small. Like, I need to do this just to get to this. I had people that were along the way, especially those faith community folks. They understood that I had made a mistake, but my rear view was not as important as my windshield. And I just actually stole that quote from Jelly Roll.
I don't think he'll mind.
No.
So, Monty, as someone that is justice involved, formerly incarcerated, this is your story. Talk about why this governor's faith-based and community initiative is so important for someone like you, someone that has actually been a product of going through the criminal justice system.
Because there are a lot of good people that make mistakes. There are a lot of people, we want 95% of the people that go into the criminal justice system come home. So we should build bridges for people to become tax-paying citizens, people to be reunified with their family. Our department, where we sit, we have two initiatives, Every Child Tennessee and Volunteer Mentor Initiative. Children that extend out of foster care stand a high likelihood of ending up incarcerated. People that are incarcerated post-incarceration stand a high chance of becoming homeless, unemployed, and back into the criminal justice system. But when you have an overarcher that is willing to dive into uncomfortable spaces and pull people from the community to be the supports, government doesn't have to be the answer, because it's not. Community is the answer because it is. When you give community resources, community can serve their people better than any government entity can. I think that's why it's important that we do what we do and how we do what we do, and we're willing to break down traditional barriers between our church community, our mosque, our synagogues, our people of faith, because their ministry is poetry in motion on the ground. We can never replicate relationship that they can, because we're not from there, we weren't born there, and there are people that speak languages that we're not supposed to speak. That's the beauty of having 95 different counties that are full of different people of different faiths. They can dive into their people. We just need to be the hander of the tool so they can help their people utilize the tool.
What is our greatest value proposition to a faith community?
That's a big question. I think as we grow, our greatest value is that we can listen and then we can convene. We have the power to convene not only faith leaders from a very global perspective, we can also convene state government departments with the questions and the comments and the responses that we get from the faith community. Our faith community makes up over half of our state's population. Over 3.5 million people attend some type of religious or congregational service. That doesn't discount other people in the state. This is simply data that reflects more than half of our state have this ear and have this response. So if we have the power to convene two different groups, government folks and community folks, with the goal of figuring out how to get them to solve problems together, I think that's the power of our office, because we're not sit in one department. We have information and access to all. We also have relationships with all of our different faith and religious groups across the state to the level that we can say, hey, let me listen to you for a minute.